Good evening, fourth and fifth grade families of gifted students here at Applegarth Elementary School. Thank you for coming out and joining me tonight. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Miss Nicole Shepard, and I'm the gifted specialist here in Monroe Township School District. So the purpose for our information session tonight is to discuss unhealthy perfectionism in gifted students and how you at home can kind of help turn this negative characteristic into a positive one. So perfectionism. So research has found that perfectionism can be on a continuum from healthy to dysfunctional. So two of the most common forms of perfectionism in gifted students are self-oriented perfectionism, which is when students set high personal standards for themselves and then evaluate their performance against these standards. And then socially prescribed perfectionism, when students perceive that others hold excessively high standards for them, and in order to please others, they must meet these standards. Now, these are the two that we see most of the time with students here, specifically at Applegarth Elementary School. So tonight we're going to talk about attributes of unhealthy perfectionism in gifted students and some things you can kind of keep an eye out at home with your child. These include anxiety about making errors, setting high standards for themselves, the need for constant approval. They have not many effective coping strategies, and the perceived excessive expectations that others have of them. So what can you do if your gifted child shows characteristics of dysfunctional or unhealthy perfectionism at home, which is why you are here tonight? And I'm going to provide you with some strategies that you can use at home. The first is to focus on present behavior. So just being in the moment and kind of focusing on that mindfulness. The second is planning realistic goals. The third is making reasonable commitments. So you want to make sure that you are not overexerting your child, or your child is not overexerting themselves. Modeling how to accept mistakes and prioritize things in your life. If you are able to show your child that it's okay to make mistakes and that we learn from our mistakes and that everybody makes mistakes, it helps them in the long run. And then demonstrate ways to relax and self-evaluate. So these are all great tips that you can use at home to kind of combat unhealthy perfectionism. So some frequently asked questions I get in regards to this info session are, what are some characteristics of healthy perfectionism? So as I talked about earlier, there is a continuum of perfectionism. So some attributes of healthy perfectionism include setting high standards for themselves, putting in so much effort, like an abundance of effort. They can use their talents to the maximum abilities. They are accepting of making mistakes. They have positive coping strategies, and they can persevere. Another question I get a lot of times is, how can teachers help my gifted child who struggles with unhealthy perfectionism? So these are some strategies that teachers use in the classroom to help students with unhealthy perfectionism. They include setting high and realistic standards, encouraging relaxation techniques, which can include mindfulness, which I talked about earlier, which is being in the moment. Teach realistic self-evaluation skills. And then they value risk-taking, and mistakes are seen as a learning tool. So these are all ways that your child's classroom teacher can kind of help, again, to turn that unhealthy perfectionism into healthy perfectionism. And then how does this help my child's social and emotional well-being? Well, this helps them because it helps them accept themselves as they are and appreciate the ways they are similar and different to others. And the acknowledging success versus demanding excellence kind of takes the stress off of them. They are able to express themselves. They're able to learn healthy coping strategies. They are able to know that it's okay to make mistakes and that not everybody's perfect and we all learn from our mistakes. And learning all of those things can kind of make them happier and less stressed and not fall into that really deep depressive state. So now is my favorite time of the presentation, where I kind of let you go off and have some coffee and tea, and then we can kind of have a conversation. You can talk to other parents, And this is just a great opportunity to ask more questions, share comments, concerns, experiences, and things like that. So I thank you all for coming tonight. And if you have any other questions, you can find me near all of the pastries over there. Have a great night.